Hi, welcome to Leap Taken. Here at Leap Taken, I talk about all things witchy, law of attraction, manifesting, esoteric, and everything else in between. And today I just wanted to talk about something really cool. And that's to just share some of my more recent successful spells, the bigger stuff that have worked for me. I'll give a little bit of details about the spells. I'm not recreating it, so I'm not going to go too much into detail, but I do want to just sort of share. And the reason I like to share this is because I think it is showing gratitude to the universe, spirits, deities, ancestors, everything. When you share the success of your magical workings, basically when you claim it, um, this is true, I know, for other types of faiths. Basically you declare, you claim what the deity of choice has done for you. I'm going to destroy these bulbs in this tree in a minute because my hands, it's the Jersey. I mean, I can't contain myself. But anyway, the point is, you want to declare, what has been done, what good has been done in your life, based on your prayer or whatever else you did. So in my case, I feel it's just as important to do so when it comes to witchcraft. Now, if you are in the broom closet, that's perfectly fine. Journaling about it counts as well. Even though technically you're not sharing with other people, but you can kind of covertly still share with people without going into details about, oh, I did a candle spell to get this, or I put somebody in a jar and he left me alone and I was able to prosper. You don't say those things, but, or you can, but if you want to remain in the witchy broom closet, you might not want to say that. So I'm going to get to it. My most successful spells. The first is the home I'm sitting in right now, my current home. This is one of my most successful spells because, and I talked about this a lot in other videos, but I'm just going to summarize it. I use scripting, magical scripting, and I also did spell work. I utilized the moon phases, the full moon, new moon, just to reinforce. I charged various magical tools that I used. Like, I was very on it, almost treating kind of like a newbie witch. Like, everything I did was new and pure, cleansed and used just for the purpose of this new home, because I knew it was a big spell, a big result that I wanted. I wanted an entire house, so that was kind of a big deal, right? So I was very careful and detailed about how I went about things. So yeah, I did use candle magic for the. I use candle magic in almost everything I do. I'm a fire sign. It just appeals to me. I'm capable of using other things, but by and large, I use spells in a spell. So I'm using candle magic. I'm doing some sort of burning with certain herbs, or it could, whatever it is. But in this case, I definitely did candle magic, and I did combine some herbs. I had my little cauldron, and I used that, and I burned them with my petition. Uh, I petitioned to my ancestors, to guide and to help in this process. And my spell worked. It worked because I live in the home that I had been manifesting all along. So this is great. Um, my last move to Florida. So I lived in Tennessee some years ago. I guess now that would be 6, 7 years ago. I lived in Tennessee. Tennessee is beautiful. I live in a beautiful home. It's a 5-bedroom, large home, multiple living areas, huge kitchen, nice deck, nice yard. I am so sorry. I have the windows open because I have the oven on. It's not hot enough for air conditioner, but it's not cold enough for heat. It's this weird place. So, but I need airflow in this home, so I got the window open. So forgive me for the traffic sounds. And it's I guess it's rush hour traffic that I'm recording this. Anyway, so wanted to move from Tennessee to Florida. I was able to do a spell in the middle of the night. It worked. I employed the concept of dark energy, creating in the dark. It worked great for me, and that spell was so powerful. It worked the next morning, and we were living in Florida within 2 months of me doing the spell that night. Also, another successful big spell, with big results. The car that I drive, that was also something that I manifested. I did spell work for. For me, I started with creating a manifestation list, and It is. This is never happening. I don't know what's happening right now. I swear I don't live directly on the street. It's not that far, but I'm near in this community, I'm near the wall that separates, you know, the outside from the community. So I guess the wall's not a great sound barrier today. Anyway, my car. So the car that I drive, I keep a manifestation list where I write the things that I want, and I put small things and big things. So let's say I want a new bedding set for my bed. I put that on the list. And I want a new car. So it'll be car, a bedding set, and something else. I do that. So long story short, again, some form of candle magic, um, scripting. I use a couple different things, but all with the magical intent. Worked, got the car that I wanted. For me, that happened within months. I want to say less than 6 months, 5 months, that I got the car that I wanted. Um, Same thing, my husband had wanted a new car. In the same year, we both got new cars. And it was a hectic way we went and got it. Unfortunately, his car was involved in an accident. It was totaled. No harm came to him, though. So that had to happen in order for him to get the car that he wanted. Everything just lined up. The car that he wanted. Notice I said that. It wasn't just any car. He wanted a specific vehicle. So he was able to get that car. And that just worked out. The other thing is my daughter's college. So she had been going to school. She had a great scholarship. And we still, even, she went to a very expensive school. So we still had to pay more money, thousands of dollars per semester, where, you know, between student loans and scholarship, it didn't work. So, um, so expensive. It was like $51,000 a year to go to this school. She had a $30,000 a year scholarship. She borrowed the rest. We still had to come up about $5,000 per year for her to go to school. No, was it 5,000 per semester? No, per year. I was paying about 2,500 per semester. Anyway, long story short, so she was going along fine, and my husband did well in his work. One of the scholarships we didn't realize was contingent upon income, so we screwed up by making more money on our and reporting it on our taxes, which affected her, and it was a big chunk of her money. So long story short, when she went to enroll, instead of the 5,000 for the year that I was accustomed to having to pay, they hit me with about over $10,000. Actually, it was 15 because it was the 5 plus a new to 10,000. It was like 50. Oh, so I needed to come up with 7,500 for each, and I'm like, by the way, so you start school in August. The new bill came out August 1st, so there was no time to plan $15,000 because you got to figure a semester is 4 months. So I can try to break it up all I want. Even if I come up with 7,500 before December, I have to somehow find another $7,500 the next. It was wild. Long story short, she had to stop going while we got the rest of the money together. The goal was always to get her back in, and obviously still afford for her to go. So that was tough to your kid who is very focused, who wants to be a doctor, to let her know that you can't go back this semester. She was able to go ahead and go that semester, but she couldn't go the spring semester, the one that started in January. I had been paying it, but I couldn't pay we couldn't pay it all. Even at the time, I was actually working to help in this. Oh, this is bad here. Sorry for the noise. Um, so she was able to go. I did spell work. I did multiple spells for various tiers of the process because it wasn't just about having money to pay. It was about having money to continue to pay because she still had to finish the rest of the semester and then start a new year. So she was like, she had one semester, a semester left and a whole year left. So she needed to be able to have funds to complete all this. And that was a very big spell because we're talking tens of thousands of dollars now to do this, and plus having transportation, have a place to go. It worked, and it was multi-layer. And also, how was she going to stay there? Would she have to stay on campus? How were we going to work this out? So the spell I did with the cars, backtrack. I had been working on this spell. We would know that she was in school and she was able to go. Right after that, from my manifestation list, uh, I had the cards on there, as I mentioned. So I did spell work because I did all this in the same year. I had already been doing all the workings for her to get back in school and the various pieces that needed to be resolved. I took a tiered approach. So this all sort of all wrapped into one thing. These different spells I was doing. My husband told his car, which he was able to purchase another car. Once he was and at the time we were a two-car family, but I was sharing my car with my daughter, which was why I wanted my own car. And I didn't want a car, I wanted an SUV. Let me add that part. He totaled his car, he was able to get another car. So she and I were still in a situation. Once he was able to do that, and she also would find out she was able to go back to school because, not find out, but we were able to tell her she was able to go back to school because we were able to come up with the money. So that spell worked. My husband was able to literally work 2 full-time positions that paid him tens of thousands of dollars in a short period of time. He was able to take care of it, and then he bought me a car. After he bought my car, we were able to give the car she and I were sharing. She just took that over. So now she's got transportation. We lived close enough to the school. It was kind of far, but she had a decent car to drive. The car's transmission went, the one that she and I were sharing. So because he had all this money, he was able to replace it, which gave the car new life. So she was able to drive that car back and forth to school. And we just supported her with everything else, money, clothes, whatever. Because she didn't have time. Between driving and studies and all that sort of stuff, she didn't have time for her working or doing anything else. So we had her back, and we had the funds to be able to carry her through. So that was awesome. So those kind of somehow combined. It was just one weird thing that happened after another. First, when you're in that, you're like, I know I did a spell to make this come together, but it came together in such a kooky way. The totaling of the car, my husband's car was in perfect condition. He had it for some years. It was a 2012 vehicle at the time, but he had kept it in perfect condition. And what I thought, we were in the accident, nothing happened. Nothing happened to us. We were perfectly healthy, safe, no injuries or whatever, but the car was totaled. But I understand that's how they do nowadays. You don't have to be hurt. One little dent and the car is considered totaled, but it was like a domino effect. So I understand that the universe had to set certain things up for me to get the things that I wanted. And we all eventually got what we wanted. So that was like a multi-tiered spell, but it worked. And finally, money. Money spells. Okay, so money spells work. They do. Here's the problem. They don't always work the way you want. And this is something I have had to come to terms with, and I'm always kind of perfecting because I don't like unintended results. I do typically, I want to say, because I've had some hit or misses. It's not that I didn't get the money I wanted. It just didn't come when I wanted it and how I wanted it. So imagine this. I would do money spells because I want to, I'm a stay-at-home wife. Sometimes I want to, kind of spend more than what I have, what we have access to. Because I'm at home thinking of new things to spend, right? So, and I know it's getting dark, so let me hurry up. So I would do I would do a couple money spells for a couple hundred, couple thousand or something like that. So what would end up happening is, it's not that I wouldn't get the money, it's just that I would get it spread out. But I wanted to buy this thing. So yeah, here's $200, a check that you didn't think was coming, and stuff like that. But it wasn't, I wanted it all in one sum. So money spells work, but you just have to perfect it. But my most successful money spell, honestly, was I knew we needed to have money in order to make all the things that I just talked about happen, especially my daughter's college tuition. Because at that point, which I didn't mention, is my son had started going to college as well. So he's in school, she's in school, and we're trying to give him a great foundation, but still get her back on track. So it was really, really tough for us financially, trying to maintain these people and stuff like that. And maintain their way of life. They probably ate some ramen noodles a couple times. if they spent their food money that we sent them. So we're like, you know, trying to keep these adults in check. They're great kids and they have goals and they have dreams, and we just wanted to support it, and we're big on education. So the fact that my husband at one point had more than one contract and his permanent, you know, his full-time job, and we had never been able to do that before, but we were able to pull that off for a period of time to kind of get these things accomplished. And that worked. So it's not like we won the lottery. No, he earned the money, and I helped him as much as I could to juggle all these balls in the air of working these different jobs, but he did it. And he was able to do it. It was never going to be forever. It was just, you know, for an extended period of time. But he was able to do it, and he was able to get all this stuff done. So that was my biggest money spell that I did. So that's pretty much it. That's me sharing my successful spells, my big successful spells, because sometimes you know, we may not aim big. And, you know, these things were important to me and important to my family. So I wanted to use the energy to make these things happen. And they were successful and they worked out. So there you go. Share yours. If you feel comfortable, share yours in the comments. Go ahead, or just tell somebody else, share your successful, your big spells, even if it's just one. And this stuff, of course, happened over years. It didn't happen all at the same time, but they happened, and they were super successful, so I'm grateful. So thanks for watching. I'm Mika. This is Leap Taken. Like the video if you liked it, and subscribe if you have not already. Thanks.